Hi guys, this is Ravenclaw with it. Welcome back to another What If story. Now, before we begin, I mentioned on this on my community tab, but I'm going to say it now. So, if any newcomers don't really check or any of you guys don't check my community tab, this is my own version of a Neko or a Nekashu. So I'm going to give him the main abilities I'm going to give him is telekinesis and gravity manipulation. And I want to state this now so I don't have to explain it in the story. All the Nekos from his tribe or his little his people, they all have gems embedded in their forehead. Izuku's family has green gems. When he's able to shift into a cat form that has the same gem, I'll give you a brief example of what the gem looks like. This is what pretty much it looks like. The smaller. Alright, let's get on to this what if. My name is Izuku of the Neko race, or the cat folk, basically. They're basic cat folks. But anyways, let's continue with the Neko race. My people has always been wary of humanity after they almost wiped us out. They hunt us down and cut our numbers down to almost extinction. My ancestors had enough foresight to gather much of my people and relocated my species to a island somewhere near mainland of feudal Japan. And that's where we stayed for centuries, generation after generation. We were able to increase our numbers. Over time, humanity eventually forgot our existence and left us in peace. Most of my kin became curious about humanity, but it was forbidden to leave the island. Unlike most of my kin, I fully understood my race and humanity cannot coexist with each other. We're far too different, nor do we know if the humans are still around. We haven't made contact with humanity since the age of the samurai. We cut ourselves off from the rest of the world. Even if a human did somehow come across our homeland, they would not see the island because of the magic we can produce. Humans can't pass through the barrier that shields the island. The barrier have guaranteed our survival for centuries now, and I highly doubt that's going to change anytime soon. Until a strange illness spread across the island, I watched my family, my kin, slowly die, one after another, until I was the only one left. I had to dig graves for my entire species on the island that I loved, that I made home. Because a grave... Well, give me a second here, guys. The island I loved, that I made my home, became a graveyard. I was only 6 when I had to bury my people. Food became scarce, and I was forced to reconsider leaving the island. I'm only 7 now. Even I know if I managed to somehow successfully leave the island, I would be faced with great danger. I have no idea if humanity has changed for the better, but I'm still going to find out. After Ezekiel stocked what food he could scrounge up onto the vessel that he's going to use to travel across the sea to the mainland of Japan, give me a second here. Things keep popping up. I need to fix that. Izuku decided to spend one more night on the island that once he called home. Just one more night. before he begins his journey off the island. But something strange happened that night. The magic crystals that maintain the barrier around the island begins to act strangely. Izuku watches the crystals shatter. I knew this was going to happen sooner or later. One person's not enough to maintain the barrier. It's a miracle that the barrier may maintain itself this long. After all, these crystals feed off the mana that we produce from our bodies. In return, it fuels the magical crystal as a power source of power, basically. Even if Izuku could stay on the island, it's only a matter of time before someone stumble upon the place. He would rather not be here when someone discovers the island by accident. He decided to use the human boat that the elders had acquired. Izuku never knew how they came upon it, considering leaving the island was forbidden. It's the most severe law they have. He had a sinking feeling many on the High Council didn't really follow that law to the T. He always suspects that the elders were keeping a lot of things about humanity a secret from the rest of his kin. He expects they had their reasons, but they're dead now, so it's meaningless. When Izuku set sail, he was fortunate enough when he got to the mainland. He arrived at dead of night. He used the cover of night to cover his arrival. Izuku immediately shifts into his cat form, into a small black cat. With he has two different eye colors. He even had two different eye colors even in his humanoid form. His right eye is bright green and his left eye is yellow, as he has a gem in the middle of his forehead. A green gem. Izuku has some sort of green gem in the middle of his forehead, basically, I said, when he's in his cat form or his human form. That one feature separate him from an average house cat. Izuku spent several days exploring the city of Japan, and he was amazed by their culture and their abilities these humans display on a daily basis. The powers of humanity have somehow acquired. Izuku found out they're called quirks. One night when Izuku was prowling the night, he has remained in his cat form since he entered Japan. Majority of the citizens in the city would clearly overlook a random stray cat. He heard strange noises echoing down the street. Izuku found it odd that there was no humans in the immediate area. His instincts flared, telling him something's not right. He learned from a young age to listen to his instincts. That's the only reason he survived this long by himself. When his parents died from this mysterious illness, unfortunately his parents were the first one to succumb to the illness that his people referred as the Black Death. He watched his parents slowly waste away, coughing up black substance. No matter what type of healing magic was performed, it never helped. It only spread the infection, making the virus lash out like it had a mind of its own from being threatened. After the death of his parents by the Black Death that spread across the island like a wildfire, it didn't even spare children. Izuku was always curious why he was never affected by the plague, but ultimately he gave up on such questions. He highly doubt he'll ever find an answer to that mystery. After walking down the street a little bit on his four paws, He noticed a young woman. By the look of it, she seemed to be at least in her 20s, fighting a group of men. He found it surprising that the woman was wearing some sort of strange costume that he would find people occasionally wearing during the daytime. They called themselves heroes. He guessing the men that she's finding is most likely the ones who refer to them, sorry, the ones who refers to themselves as villains. That was hard to say for some reason, but let's continue on. As he watches the young woman, he decided the odd color in her hair. Sorry, give me a second here, guys. As he watches the young woman, he did notice the odd coloring of her hair, bright green hair with bright green eyes. As he watches with amusement, she displayed similar abilities as himself. The human was using telekinesis. That was unexpected. That caught him by surprise. It seemed to be quite strong as well. Interesting. As he watches the young woman stop a car in midair after the villain tossed it at her, as she gently set it on the vehicle down on the side of the road, Izuku noticed one of the men creep behind the woman. The villain was about to strike her back of the head with a metal baseball bat. He increased the gravity onto the man as he falls down to one knee. The woman capitalized on the villain being subdued as she kicked the man viciously in the face, knocking him out. Izuki is grinning while in his cat form. It's very unsettling if someone actually saw it. After Inko successfully took out the villain that snuck up behind her, she turned around to see the other villains. They were yanked towards a dark alleyway to her right. A second later, the two villains that was just yanked in the alleyway got yanked back out with extreme force, basically by unknown force, slamming into a car. By the impact alone, she could tell they were severely injured, as the car glass was shattered all around the pavement or the street from the impact. She could barely see a figure that resembles a boy with cat ears with a tail wagging back and forth, with two different color eyes, green and yellow, glowing into the darkness. Inko was surprised was surprised by the cat-like eyes because of the young man's appearance. She immediately came to the conclusion it must be some sort of mutation quirk. As she watches the boy step backwards into the shadows, when she ran towards the boy, when she finally entered the alleyway, the boy was nowhere to be seen. Izuku watches the woman in his cat form sitting on the top of a trash can, watches the woman panic trying to find the young man. Izuku could tell the woman was quite worried about him, even though she doesn't know who he is or they never met before. As a Neko, he's very mischievous. That's when he was satisfied with his work, with this interesting human. He finally trailed back to the abandoned building he's been making his home. As weeks has passed, Izuku started to get extremely bored as he decided to shadow the green-haired woman every time she would do her hero work, either during the day or night. He caught her scent so he could find her anywhere in the city. She was the only human he even bothered with. He found the whole lot of them arrogant and foolish, but the green-haired woman was different. He came to realize the woman was totally different from the rest of her species. She had a warmth to her. Izuku always found it pleasant to be around her. It reminded him as his own mother. His mother has always give out a warm feeling when he was around her. Inko was shocked when she got a phone call from Principal Nezu. She's only been a pro hero for about a year now. She was wrecking her brains if she did something wrong. She's she's never been called. She's never been called to Nezu's office before. Principal Nezu informed her that she hasn't done anything wrong. He just wished to speak with her for a potential case he wants her to deal with. It's been sitting on his desk for quite some time now. The other heroes wouldn't take the case because it was beneath them. It has something to do with they thought it was beneath them because it was some minor matter. There was no villain involved, so they didn't want to take it. So she ultimately agreed to meet Nezu at UA. Entering the school boundaries brought back pleasant memories as her time as a student when she attended UA University. Inko knew it used to be high school, but eventually was changed into a college for many concerning parents having high school kids in danger fighting villains, so Nezu eventually changed it into a university to quell a lot of parents' concerns. She's never been in trouble. She's never been in trouble before. Never. Once she was sorry again. She's never been in trouble, not even once, when she was in UA. She's never visited Principal Nezu's office before. But with the interaction she had with Principal Nezu, it was positive. He was always patient and kind towards her. He was quite a positive reinforcement when she was attending his university, unlike her parents, were far too busy to pay attention to her. Her family was well known to be quite wealthy. She never really cared about what money her family made. She would never deny that the money her family provides did make her life a whole lot easier. But she never let it get to her head or took it for granted. Unlike most rich kids around Japan, she promised herself that she would never treat whatever children she would had that way and completely ignored them. She would shower them in love no matter how bad a day she was having. While Nezu was finishing up some paperwork, he saw a familiar green-haired woman walk into his office with a warm smile on her face. "Hi, sir. You wanted to see me?" "Oh, Inko, how you been, dear?" "I've been good." "Please, sit, my dear." "Thank you, sir." Inko sat on the chair across from Nezu's desk. "I know I gave you a little scare when I called you. Sorry about that." "Well, the reason why I called you here today, I have a case that's been brought to my attention that many of the other heroes have been overlooking. That won't do. That won't do at all. Here, take a look at the file." "What is this, Principal Nezu? Why is there a picture of a black cat in these files, sir? Given the cat is very unique looking, especially that green gem on the cat's forehead." "According to my information, we might have a quirk animal on our hands. The witness has seen the animal in question perform telekinesis. The cat's been using telekinesis to steal food from nearby shops all around town and attacking anyone that tries to stop it. Because a villain's not involved, the case has been overlooked by many heroes, and they chose not to pay attention to it. Clearly, things need to change around here. I'll be taking steps in future, so things like this won't happen again. I chose you to take this case because you share similar abilities with the animal, and I have full confidence you will resolve this case in record time." Of course, sir. I'll start immediately. Once you capture the animal, I want you to bring it to my office. We haven't had a case like this in years. Of course, sir. I'll contact you when I have the animal. Good hunting, Inko. Inko bowed in respect towards Nezu. As she left his office to begin her investigation into this cat that's been causing quite a bit of trouble in the city. This is actually quite refreshing case for Inko, as she doesn't have to fight any villain or save any innocent civilians. This is a simple lure and catch operation. The Hero organization used to do these a lot back in the day when the merge of quirk animals began to increase in numbers. But over the years, they slowly started to decline in numbers, and it comes to the point where quirk animals were a rare occasion. Meanwhile, Izuku is enjoying terrorizing the general population with his mischief, stealing food, pranking several humans, like tying their shoelaces together so they would trip when they try to walk, while he's in his cat form. The rest of the humans could clearly see a smirk on the cat's face while terrorizing them. Several humans tried to attack the cat. Izuku would throw them back into a wall using his telekinesis. That even made the cat act a lot more smugger towards them with a smirk on his face. What's what's the matter, little humans? You can't deal with a little kitty cat? As everyone has a shocked expression on their face, realizing that the cat could actually talk. Even all the powers you have required, you can't even handle a little kitty cat. Poor little humans. Izuku starts to laugh at the misfortune of the humans. That's quite enough. That's quite enough, feline. As a low-tier hero made his presence known, allow me to stop this minute. Izuku starts to laugh even louder. His green gem starts to glow as the hero's pants drop down to his knees. Oh my! Oh my, hero! How can you stop a poor little kitty cat if you can't keep your pants on? The crowd starts to laugh at the hero. In turn, it made the Neko to laugh even louder, with a smug little smirk on his face. While the hero is extremely embarrassed, he stares daggers at the feline. When he finally struggled to put his pants back on, you're dead. You don't. You do know how cats have 9 lives. As the Neko snickers at the hero comment, the hero is unaware there's a trash can hovering over his face as he turns the trash can upside down. He drops the trash can over the hero's face as it covers pretty much down to his chest, making him unable to see. Oh, mighty hero, you're quite a mess, and you're a bit smelly. Here, allow me to help you with that. As he sprayed water at the hero from a nearby fountain, using his telekinesis, when he finally got the trash can off his head, the hero was soaked from head to toe with water. Izuku simply jumped on the hero's head. The action alone that action alone infuriated the hero for using him as a footstool, while using his telekinesis as he lifted up a permanent marker and wrote on the hero's back, "Kick me, I'm an idiot," as he hopped off the hero's head. And Inko finally arrived. As she comes upon the scene, she couldn't help but almost laugh at the scene. Unfortunately, she couldn't enjoy herself because she's on the clock. As she gives chase to the cat that jumped off the hero's head, she did notice the "kick me" that was written on the hero's back when she turned her head for a second to look at the hero. When she finally passed the hero, giving chase to the small black cat, Izuku was fully aware of the green hair woman is chasing him down, so he decided to have a little fun with her, with a mischievous smirk on his face, or cat. He's still in his cat form. So, with the help of his telekinesis, he opened the door to a antique shop. As he said nothing, but as he sees nothing but glass vases, just glass stuff, glass figures, expensive stuff, scattered all around the shop. As he saw the green hair woman run into the store, Izuki was on top of one of the counters, as his paw was against a glass vase. There you are. Don't you dare push that vase. Inko could tell the cat has a smirk on his face. The cat pushed the vase to the ground as the vase shattered, as the store owner is freaking out. As she sees the black cat run around the counter, making several priceless artwork shatter into little pieces, Inko barely had enough time to catch several vases from breaking by saving the priceless artwork from shattering on the ground by using her telekinesis. Inko's eyes widen as she sees the cat standing right next to the most expensive item in the store. She could tell by the store owner's by the look he's given her. He's begging her to stop the feline. I had give me a second here, guys. I had enough of your antics. You better not push that down. You already caused enough trouble already today. I don't think so. Green hair hero. Wait, you can talk? Of course I can talk. What do you think? What do you think? You're the only species that's able to produce sound into words? I'm insulted. Why are you doing this then? Because it's fun. Think fast. As he swiped his tail at the big vase, as she sees the vase beginning to fall, as she catches it with her hands, saving the extremely expensive vase. When she turned around back to the cat, when she safely put the vase back to the ground, she could see the cat bolted out the door, only seeing the cat's tail zooming through the archway of the door. 6 hours later, he sees the woman panting from running around, chasing him around town. It seems like she's beginning to give up, as she's sitting on a bench in the park. While she was unaware, Izuku chilled back at her and jumped on her lap, surprising her. I had fun today. I like playing with you. You're a lot more entertaining than the rest of the people in the city. As the cat yawns, I'm gonna take a nap now. As Izuku yawns and curls up in a little ball on Inko's lap, Inko is extremely confused. After catching her breath, she picked up the black cat and headed towards UA to meet up with Principal Nezu. She informed him that she found the cat and she's on her way to his office. When Inko entered Principal Nezu's office, she was surprised to see Azawa, aka Eraserhead. She has teamed up with Eraserhead before. She always found it easy to work with him. She found it humorous that he was quite the sorry. He found it hilarious, not really hilarious, but humorous that he was quite the cat person, even though he tries to hide it. I've returned, sir. I hope he or she didn't give you much trouble. He gave me a little bit trouble. That's one thing I know. Sir, this is no ordinary cat. It's able to talk. Fascinating. I did not expect that. I wish to conserve, or I wish to conserve with it. Will you please set it on my desk? Basically, talk with it. Yes, sir. I just couldn't pronounce it right for some reason, but let's continue on. As she gently puts the cat on the desk, Eraserhead seems to be quite curious if it's able to talk. He's never seen a talking cat before. Izuku was peaceful asleep until he smelt something good he hasn't smelt before. He smelled a half-eaten candy bar in Ozawa's pocket. That got his attention, so he jolted up. Oh, give me a second, guys. Good, you're awake. Let me introduce myself. I am I'm Nezu. It's a pleasure to meet you. It's not very often I can talk to a fellow animal. I guess the cat's out of the bag. I guess the green hair woman told you I'm able to talk. Nezu couldn't help but cackle at the cat pun. That she did. You've been causing quite a bit of trouble. Well, sorry, you've been causing us quite a bit of trouble in town. I couldn't help myself. Humans are so gullible. But I do smell something tasty. After a nice nap, eating a treat, it always puts me in a chipper mood. Out of nowhere, Izuku uses telekinesis to snatch the candy bar from Eraserhead's pocket. So what's the verdict, Eraserhead? Whatever that cat used, it's not a quirk. I had my quirk active the whole time. Well, this is quite fascinating. So what do you call yourself? Want my name? Very well. You can call me Izuku. You might not want to eat that. Chocolate is quite dangerous for felines. The smug look on his face. Normal felines. I'm not your average house cat. He's a stretch. What do you mean? Before anyone could say anything else, they see the black cat morph into a human form, with black cat ears, with a tail, with a green gem in the middle of his forehead, wearing some sort of strange robes. Much better. As the floating candy bar slowly floats into his hands, as he takes a bite of the chocolate bar, delicious. I don't know what this is, but I like it. Well, this changes things. I guess it does. Before you ask, I'm not a human. You don't have, and I don't have what you call a quirk. What are you, if I may ask? I'm quite curious. My people don't have a name. If you would, if we would be called anything, it would probably be catfolk or nekomata, or neko for short. At least that's what most, sorry, at least that would be most proper name in your human tongue. Is there any more of you? None of my knowledge. I'm the last one of my people. Where I came from. They're all dead. Let's just leave it at that. Very well, but I'm truly sorry for your loss. Maybe sorry, whatever you are. It's not your fault. It was a disease. It was a disease. Fortunately, I was spared. Izuku floated up in the air and sat on Inko's lap, still eating the candy bar that he stole from Eraserhead. Never got your name, lady. Izuku, it's Inko. Inko. I like it. It fits you. Nezu is about. Nezu is already trying to strategize a plan, seeing the two of them interact with each other. He wants to know more about Izuku, but he can't simply allow him to cause trouble around the city. So he got a bright idea as a light bulb clicked in his head. So it was you who saved me that night. I couldn't allow that man to hit you in the back of the head with that metal bat. I can't imagine that would feel very nice. And I did like how you kicked the man in the face. It was quite entertaining. You're a little scamp. As she ruffles his hair. Oh, whispers to Principal Nezu. So what are we going to do with him, sir? I actually have an idea, but we can't simply allow him to continue what he's been doing. He needs someone to look after him, and considering how fond he is of Inko. That's actually a pretty good idea. She is a kind woman. She's the best suited to take care of the boy. I like cats, but that one's a little too mischievous for my liking. So as he would be. All right, I came to a decision. What's going on, sir? Sure, we can't allow him to roam the streets at night. He needs someone to take care of him. And considering how he seemed to be quite attached to you. Task falls to you, Inko dear. Me, sir? I don't think this is a good. Sorry. Me, sir? I don't think it would be a good fit. I don't think I would be a good mother if what I think you're suggesting. Nonsense. You, you seem to already have formed a bond. I can see I can see in the young man's eyes. He trusts you. Don't make me order you, Inko. As Inko sighs in defeat, you win. I'll take care of him. Good. I'll have the papers in order in the next couple days. I'll have to forge a couple things, but we'll just keep that between us. Are you okay having Miss Inko here take care of you? I have no problem with it, as long as she provides me more of this tasty treat. If I'm going to be taking care of you, you'll be eating a lot more than chocolate. So this is what it's called, chocolate. After Inko talked to Nezu, she left to go back to her house while holding on to the little cat boy's hand. That's where we're going to cut our part off here. Hope you guys have a good night and day, judging by time zones. And I'll catch you in the next video. Alright, bye.